and train, hey, that's not a bad idea, not a bad thing. I mean, if we can make it happen, we can make it happen. But, as the months have gone by, he's also heard from some college coaches, talked to some college coaches, and, I think maybe along the lines of, staying, in the United States and playing college soccer, sounds like a good idea, as well as, I mean, going to Spain or something like that, or even, ending up there at some point, in his career. I put it that way.
Yeah. Do you have a passport other than an American passport?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a passport, like do you have a European passport, like a British passport or a Spanish passport or any other different country passports?
No, we've always lived in the United States.
Okay, really helpful. So I want to start this by saying I see a lot of videos a day, Mr. Connor. That's what I do. I watch highlight videos all day, every day. You are the diamond in the rough, okay? You are Cole Palmer. You know who Cole Palmer is?
Yeah.
Does your dad know Cole Palmer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we watch.
He's a Manchester City fan.
Okay,
so.
perfect. So you used to be a big – so, look, your son, I have not seen a video and you can believe me or think I'm blowing smoke up your tush if you want, but I've not seen a video at this high level outside of MLS Next in 5 years. Your son is very good. He could potentially play at a very high level. Now, his ability to play at a high level is very different to just getting to do so. As you mentioned, he's late, and there's NCAA rules, and there's other competitive drives, there's exposure rate, etc. Now, the Spain thing, the reason you guys brought it up is I'm telling you he's a good soccer player. But if you don't have a European passport, that means they have to pay you 3 times what they'll pay a local kid who's already 3 years younger than you. I mean, I went to Fulham when I was 14, and I'm a good soccer player. And they told me right when I arrived, unless you have a European passport, you will never sign a contract with us. So you can go to Spain on a student visa and try and work your way up, but without a passport. And if you look at Pulisic, has a Polish passport. Reina, dad played in England. There's really not an American who played abroad that didn't play for the national team. Matt Turner had to play 70% of games for the national team before he could go to England. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you want to go to Spain for fun, go to Spain for fun. It'll be a great experience. You'll play in little tiny stadiums, and you get to play. You get to say you played in Spain. If you really want to go pro, if you're like, that is a dream of mine, for you as an American, college soccer is the only way, because you have to play pro here. If you play pro here, then you could go abroad. Like I played pro here, and then I signed in Sweden for 5 years because I played pro here first. So I was able to get a work visa. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the pro thing we're going to put to the side for a minute because going pro is a different animal. I just want to help you with college soccer. Your video, like I told you, your left foot, your composure, your technique, I am impressed. So here's the problem with that. Because of the club level you're playing, Division I soccer is pretty much not realistic, even though you might be the level. So it's very rare that I ever tell a kid you should go to a D1 camp when you're not playing at the MLS Next or ECNL, because they almost always tell you that you got to go be seen at a showcase. You could be the exception to the rule, but you can't go to a camp cold. You need a coach to see what I saw in your video and go, who the frick are you? Or where have you been? And then maybe you could go. Now, having said that, the schools you're talking to, from my opinion, you're way above those levels. So now the good news is you're late to the process, and there's a new NCAA rule. Did you guys hear about this?
No.
Okay, so there's a new NCAA Division I rule. There used to be no roster cap, so you could kind of have as many as you wanted, and a lot of teams had 32, 36, some had 40. Now you can only have 28 kids. So they cut the rosters, and the reason that's a problem for you is a lot of schools have 35 kids. They're going to graduate 3, and they're going to have to cut 5. So there's no room for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Division I is going to be a problem. Now, having said that, your situation is one that is appealing to me because of your video. So I'll show you your video. Now, I'm saying your video is good, meaning your soccer from a representative perspective. This looks unprofessional. The team you're playing for will immediately make you look not as good as you are. And your format in your whole video is wrong. So they're just going to think like you are not part of a big club. That's just that's just going to be their perception. So I would fix this entirely. But when I'm watching, not even the fact that you are efficient, it's your technique. Like this technique is it is phenomenal. That is phenomenal technique. So, at the very least, when you're in the situation, Division II and a higher level Division III are on the table for you. Now, you don't have to believe me. You can, like I said, you can think otherwise. But with what you're doing now, you're going to get stuck, in my opinion. And the good news is you could stay with the teams you're already talking to. I have a feeling if you stay in touch with them, they'll probably make you an offer and you can be happy. But you also have really good grades. So to your point, which is kind of, I think what you're feeling is you're like, look, I think I'm pretty good. And I think there might be more options out there. Is that how you feel?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So here's their big dilemma. How is it that we're going to get everybody to know who you are in the short time period that we have? Because it is short. So I'm going to show you that real quick. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So again, and this is going to be an issue. So in your case, financial wise, what I charge and everything, sometimes I can offer you a second option, and which can be cheaper in some regard. In your case, I cannot. I'll talk about that in a minute, because the only way I would work with you is if I get to talk to you every single day. The other model is a do-it-yourself, and I don't. If you mess it up, you will mess up everything, because you get a one-time shot in the dark at this. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll show you that in a minute. All right. So the first thing, I got to fix your video. Okay. Now, the way I think I'm very genuinely excited / even curious that if we could make a lot of schools watch your video, I think they would be very keen on it. We have to fix a couple things. But if we were to send it to every single Division II and Division III program that are top schools, which is what we would do, we're not just going to send it to everybody, but we'll send it to a lot of schools. With my system, I can press select all. I click write email. We go dear #coach #genuine. It will automatically help us create something genuine to say. I'm going to tell you exactly what to say with your updated video. It will automatically insert the coach's name, and it will be sent to all these schools.
That's huge.
In 10 seconds. So within 5 days, we could have an email to every coach in the country. And normally, like I said, it doesn't work for everybody because their videos are good, but they got to see them in person. Your video, your soccer ability is more exceptional than I have seen in a long time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So having said that, I could just give you this system and you could go try it on your own. I charge a fee for this. And my concern is if you don't write the emails correctly, you don't fix your video, then you'll end up exactly where you are right now. Because I'm sure you've sent a lot of emails. Is that true?
I've sent a decent amount. Yes.
So I don't want to do what you did already because that did not work.
True.
Okay. So in saying that, that's the step number one. Step number two, I want you to go to some camps, but I want to be mindful because of your ability. Like I would have you go to maybe a couple Division I's, even if the coaches said to you they're not interested. If they said they're not looking for your position, then we're not going to go. But if they give you a generic email, I might say to you, look, I saw your video. I want you to go to the camp anyways because I think you're going to impress them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now for the D1s, it's going to be a problem still. They may say to you, wow, I wish I knew you earlier. Or they may even say, which is going back to your Spain proposition, they might say, look, would you take a gap year? And if you would take a gap year, you could go to Spain and then come back and play college soccer, potentially. But we would have to help you navigate that. Going abroad for college soccer is usually really bad. I'd rather you go try out for a USL 2 team than go play in Spain. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The reason is, let's say the coach wants to see you in person, which is usually the case for Division I. They have to see you in person like 4 to 6 times. If you go to Spain, look, the problem also with Spain is like they don't know what the level is. Maybe it's really good, but just so you know, you're going to be on a student visa with a bunch of other student visas. That's how they take you to Spain. So it's not to say it's not pro and you couldn't get seen and get picked and go all the way to the top. It's obviously possible, but you're on a student visa. You're not the only kid they messaged on the app. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There are, good players, but college soccer is unique because you get an education, of course, but the facilities and the professionalism of college soccer is way better than like anywhere. Arguably, like I've been to Manchester City's facilities because my brother used to work for the CEO of Liverpool's kid is now at Manchester City for their nutrition. And that, as it happened, that kid went to our high school. So we got to go
Mm.
visit the facilities, and like college soccer teams are almost the equivalent of Manchester City. Like it's ridiculous
Mm.
because college
And
soccer
like
is
you said, they're not the only kid that reached out. They reached out to my friend actually yesterday.
Mhm.
He showed me the screenshot of him and texted him and stuff like that. So yeah.
Is that kid good?
Yeah, he's a junior. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, so maybe they prioritize good players. That's awesome. Good for them. But again, my job is college soccer, and also selfishly, I played abroad. I want you to. I'm glad you're getting your associate degree. That's phenomenal. But I want you to have a bachelor's degree. Selfishly, I played pro soccer for 10 years. I have my master's degree, and I'm really grateful that I have it. So, in saying that, your situation is unique because the camp situation. I want you to do it mindfully. Now, the other thing is, I'm hoping. And I could be wrong, so it's a risk you have to either trust me or not, is if we send your video to the Division 2s, I think they're going to want you on trial. And the unique part with Division 2s is they can have you train with the team, which no other schools can do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So trials tend to happen in the next month, and then that's done. Then you have to wait until March. And that's a bummer because you would like to be committed before March. So the Division 2 schools, we have a time problem. And then look, the other piece of it is we're going to send a lot of emails, and then you're going to have to pick out who you want. That's what I'm hoping will happen is I fix your video, pick out, and then you're going to have to, just because they like you doesn't mean you get recruited. I need to be able to help you respond to them. You have to respond. This means phone call. This means you need to look them up. This means you need to watch their game. This means you need to go to their game. This means you need to go to their camp, but not until you send another full game video. You also don't have enough video, not even close to enough video, given your ability. One highlight video is insane. You're never going to play college soccer like that. Not at a good high level. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And given your ability, I want 5 every touch videos tomorrow. And we have this cool system I'll show you where basically all you have to do is, sorry, I'll log in here. All you have to do is submit me the video, and this AI system will automatically create the every touch video for you. So I submit the video, and it gives me all these statistics about you. And then this is every single touch that this kid took in the game, and it's done in 24 hours. So I can just make a lot of videos for you very quickly. Does that make sense? So in saying that, at the beginning, we may have to get your timestamps because I'm going to want to send full game videos with the timestamps. Otherwise, the coaches won't watch it. So it goes back to, look, in your case, I got to fix your video. I want to send a big email, and then I want to tell you how to respond. Imagine we're dating, and you want to marry a really attractive person. And right now, they're out of your league because you're dressed poorly, right? Your video is dressed poorly. I'm going to change the way you wear clothes. I'm going to change the way you walk. I'm going to change the way you talk. And then the good-looking people are going to date you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're thinking. To your father, does that make sense too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So then here is the next piece of this. In your scenario, this is what it looks like when we're working with students in your situation. And yeah, okay, we'll go through it a step at a time. So the first thing is you have to meet with me and my team every week. You're going to get a guy named Diego. Diego was in a very similar situation to you. I talked to him every day. He and I will be talking every day about you because for my 2025s, I don't take on 2025s like anymore, but I'm making an exception because I really like your video. So, and again, if you don't believe me, then that's okay too. But that's how I genuinely feel. So you're going to I am going to be picking the schools for you. I'm going to be telling you what to say. He's going to be talking to you every day saying, hey, how did they respond? Oh, we need to follow up. Oh, you didn't respond to this school. You got to follow back up with them. One of the things that this tool does is every time you receive an email, it will help you automatically tell you, hey, was this genuine? Was it a generic email? Do we need to follow up with them? And then it will automatically remind you, hey, they didn't email you back. You got to follow up. Because even if you're so good, you got to email multiple times. Make sense?
Can you see the emails that would come through, or would it just be only me?
Good question. Both of us will be able to see them.
Okay.
But we want you to share them with us, because you may get them at 2 a.m. and we're working about your video. So you would take a screenshot and you'll send it to your Discord channel.
Okay.
We can see what you sent. We can't see everything you received because it does connect to your own Gmail and you have private stuff on there. So you will have access. We can just see what you sent.
Okay.
Then the next piece is you need to talk to us every day. And this is non-negotiable, by the way. You must meet with us every week. Okay. If you don't meet with us every week, then this process doesn't work. I need more video of you. Okay. I need about I would say 3 to 5 videos, even if they're from high school. I need the full videos. Does that make sense?
Full game videos or
full game videos. I will edit them, but you have to send me the full game.
Okay.
Okay. We don't have time for this. This is like where we talk about how to get you better at soccer. If you get committed, we can help you with this. And then the thing I want to say to you, we're a lifetime deal. So if you're serious about going pro and you're serious about going to Spain or whatever else you want to try and do, I have agents that I know. I don't like agents. Most of them suck. I have one agent who I do like. But in saying that, we're a lifetime deal. So to work with us, it's 5, and we're with you for life. So in your case, we're not just going to be with you for the next, say you get committed in the next 3 months or 6 months, which is our goal. We don't stop there. Now the question is, how do you if you want to talk about transferring to a higher level, we'll help you do that. If you want to try and go to Spain, so be it. We'll help you do that. We're with you forever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then in your case, if in the first 3 months, it's really like 1 month, but I have to say 3. If in the first 3 months, you're not being genuinely recruited by a higher level school than you're talking to right now, then I'll refund this. And I'll say, I was wrong. I thought you were a baller. The coaches didn't think I was correct. And I tried. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have a really good GPA. You have a 3.9, right?
Yeah.
So I can pretty much guarantee, especially with the Division 3 schools we're going to reach out to and the Division 2s, that you're going to get a minimum of $80,000 over the 4 years. And you already have your associate degree, which would also mean that you could graduate early and enter the draft earlier with your 4-year degree. Or if you don't want to enter the draft, you could go try out for pro teams in the summertime. And that's what I did. So I graduated a semester early. So that way, if I was in the draft, I did not get drafted, but I was in the draft. That way I could leave with my degree because that was important to my family. But I also was able to start trying out for pro teams earlier because I graduated earlier. And in your case, you will be in that world, and you could start your master's degree while you're in your undergrad, which is what I did. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So really what we're talking about paying for your master's degree. That's really what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to your dad too?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the only thing I'm going to offer. Like I said, there's another model where I could just give you this. But I personally wouldn't let you, even if I could. Let's say you decide you don't want to work with me, which is your decision, and I don't make money, then so be it. Because I couldn't live with myself thinking that you will use my system and not do it correctly, because it would just be a way, it won't work. And then I'll be like, you guys will be upset with the system, and that's not fair to me or the system, because if we fix your video, and I think if I fix the way you write your emails, I think we will, I really would like to know, put it that way. I am curious myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So in saying that, the question now is this something you guys would like to move forward with?
Well, that's the one thing after watching your video and stuff like that. I did express to Connor, I was like, look, I mean, you have heard from a couple coaches. You do have an interest of being in a higher level. He definitely, we wanted to hear what you had to say. I like the video. I like everything that you do and how you do it. Just the one thing, as far as the 5,000 to do it all, we can definitely take care of that. It's just something that, like I said, that's a bigger investment than, we were anticipating maybe going to Spain, doing a trip over there to see the facilities and everything like that. And then starting to visit college campuses and, doing that stuff. It is, it is a financial responsibility, like you said, as far as getting to all these colleges, getting there, getting back, whether it be colleges that are nearby that we can drive to, or there are colleges that are, on the other side of the country that we have to fly to.
All true. And I would just, and you're right. No, that you're spot on. I think I would just say that obviously there's a scholarship portion to this, so there's a level of investment that we want you to get back. But to some people, 5,000, is a lot, and some to find your dream school is a great deal, and that's for you guys to decide. And the other aspect is when you talk about, I'm just here to help you play college soccer. If you want to go to Spain and all those things, that's every right for you guys to look into. My job is to help you play college soccer. And I wanted to be clear. I think your son can play at a high level of college soccer. If you're happy with the current choices you have, then you don't need me, and definitely don't work with me. If my value if my value doesn't outweigh the cost, then I don't want students to work with me. So the last thing from my perspective is, if we were to work together, which I'm not saying we are yet, I want to ask your son, why do you think you're a good fit to work with me?
I think I'm a good fit to work with you because I feel like just given like how many students you've helped in the past, I feel like there definitely is a connection, and like you can obviously help kids. I saw that one kid, he was a 2026, I think he committed to Duke. I feel like you have like just the ability to help kids and stuff like that really means like there is still a chance. I know I'm like really, really late into it, but I do feel like with the right help and the right talk and stuff like that, I feel like I can definitely get to a high level D2 school, and maybe even a high level D3. But just getting my name out there pretty much.
Yeah, and I think the question comes down. You guys talked about all the Spain stuff, so that's up to you. But if you want to play at a high level of college soccer, given your ability, it unlike many students who are seniors, who I say, look, it's Division 3 or nothing, or you don't get to even play college soccer. That's what I'm having discussions with 25. I'm telling you, you could play at a very high level of college soccer, even if it doesn't. And I never tell people to transfer, but because you have your associate's degree, which means you can take classes for cheaper while you're in college because you will have already had courses taken. If the timing doesn't work out because you're going to be playing, say, Division 3, because the Division 1 schools say they're full, and you kill it in Division 3, I think Division 1 is on the table for you. And I don't ever really say that to most kids.
Do you think that's the same as D2? So like say you had a really, really good season, you can enter the transfer and then go D1? That's a possibility.
Absolutely. If your goal is to play Division 1 in your scenario, I would have you go Division 2 more than Division 3, even if it meant sacrificing some level of academics, because academics are better in Division 3 typically. If you say, I really want to play D1, and then if you do really well in Division 2, that's more numerical. You got to score goals. You can actually, we had a kid go from D3 at a Hartwick, which is like a small Division 3 school, and he's playing at D1 South Carolina now. So he was really good, like you. 2025, it was a very similar situation, but he had to commit to Division 3 because he started late. And so then once he was in Division 3, we made every touch videos. He went to another D1 ID camp. They knew that he was good because he played at college. He had a year of college under his belt, and they wanted him for a Division 1 school. For you, I don't think that's out of the question. If you go to Spain, all college disappears, just so you know. Every single option. Unless it's the Division 3s you're talking about, maybe they'll take you back. But every Division 1 school will say, why'd you go to Spain? Why didn't you sign D1? And they'll even say, why didn't you go to college? Because they all believe that Spain is, honestly, even if it's awesome, they're like, great, you didn't make it in college, so your parents took you to Spain for fun because you think you're going to go pro, and now you're screwed. That's what the college coaches think of international. They could be wrong, but that is what they think.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So here's the last thing. Actually, I want to ask your father, you're not allowed to work with me today. I need you guys to think about this before you do it with me, because as you mentioned, it's an investment and I want you to be excited. But why do you think your son's a good candidate to work with us?
Well, and I think that's the thing, kind of like what he said. I mean, since we are late to the game, we're in a window now of, we've got basically a month of high school games left. Then he gets into club games, which club games, he'll have a few here or there, November, December. But then, with our weather around here, January, February are pretty much indoor seasons. They might have a few practices outside, maybe a sporadic game here or there, but you just never know. and especially playing in colder weather. I mean, it, has its advantages and disadvantages. You don't get hot and sweaty, but then again, maybe you don't play your best in some of the games. So, you know, I think, his club team is really good. I mean, they're a great group of boys that actually play really great together, feed off each other. And the high school team is a little bit, it's a high school team. You got some kids that, really want to further their education and play soccer. And then you got some other kids that are out there playing because they've played their whole entire life, but they just like to play for fun, you know? And I think that, helping him get to that point, if we do decide to do this, of like getting that exposure out there in the next 2 or 3 months, maybe talking to some more coaches, like you said, visiting an ID camp or something like that, might get him a little bit more exposure, where right now I think he's getting more exposure around the general area that we live in, as exposed to, say, a coach in South Carolina or something like that is not going to, happen to pop up and be like, hey, I saw your video, we want to talk,
Well, my argument is they will. That's what I'm saying. If they see his video.
I mean, with your system, they will.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as right now, what we're doing, what he's been doing, the chances of that happening are, a lot slimmer.
And I'll be the first to say, if you work with us, one of the problems you're going to face is coaches are going to, we're not going to do anything unless you want to. Like, we're not going to go to a camp just because they asked us to. We'll measure it out. But one problem you will face is coaches will want to be on the calls with you. They will want you to come for visits. They will want you to come train with their team. Like you, I guess if you're measuring Spain or college and it's a financial piece, that's up to you guys if you can do both. But my strategy will create a problem for you. You will be asked to go do things, which is a good problem, but they will be like, hey, could we, they're going to want to see more of you, and you may even get some offers. I don't think that's out of the question for Division 3s. For Division 3s and D2s on video alone, based off of what I've seen and the videos I anticipate you sending me more of, they can make you an offer on video alone.
Okay.
So that's why I'm really excited to fix your video and send the emails out, because at the very least, the other thing I'll just add, so I meant to say this, I didn't mention this. So the payments are split up into 3 different payments. If after the first month you say this was amazing, but we don't want to keep doing it, then fine, we can just go our separate ways, and then you didn't have to pay the whole amount technically. But I can't give you a guarantee, so there'd be no like refund per se. I'm saying after 3 months, I can guarantee the refund.
Okay,
cool.
And going back to what you were saying, that thinking about, his ability and his skill level and stuff like that. When he was a smaller kid and stuff like that, and he was always left foot dominant. I always try to put him on the left side when I started coaching when he was smaller. And I would have to pull him off and put him in defense and put him in goalie and stuff like that, just to keep him from scoring goals, because
I can tell you did a good job.
He would just dribble around him and they would just be like, okay, I'm not going to catch up to him and let him go. But, one thing I always stressed to him was, it's like, you might be left-footed dominant, but you have to be able to do that stuff with your right foot. And he does. He switches. He's not afraid to switch feet, go one way or the left, and most coaches play him tentatively on the left-hand side, but I played him on the right-hand side just as much, because when you're coming back across the field, you got that left foot kind of to free your option, open. But, he definitely has the ability and the skill and the drive to do it. And I think he would be a great fit for any team. But, I think one of the biggest factors for him is, with the 2 schools that we did talk to, both coaches seemed really genuine. And, like yourself, they were very impressed with his video. They were very impressed with him. And I stressed to him about finding the right situation to go into, because, yeah, I think he could play Division 1, but then again, I don't want him to go to Division 1 and ride the bench for 2 years and not ever play. And that's where I have stressed to him. I was like, look at Division 2, look at Division 3, because you might get a right fit of a situation where you can go in and start playing right away and actually make a difference, And that's one of the things the Penn State Beavers coach said was, you could play here for a couple years, get your degree, and then you could transfer to Penn State University and play Division I and get your master's there and play for them.
It's very true.
Now, you said, a lot of times they may not transfer kids in, they do a walk-on kind of thing with students and stuff like that. But, again, like you said, if you shine and you're above everyone else, I mean, a coach is not going to stupid not to say, hey, I really want that kid on my team. We're not going to make him walk on. We're not going to make him go through this process. I want him here now, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, very well said. And you did a great job, Dad, coaching him. He's a good soccer player. So I have to run. It was really nice talking to you all. The last thing is this. I have to have an answer from you guys in 24 hours. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, I don't work with that many students. Two, for his situation in particular, every day I'm losing time to be able to achieve what I think might be capable for him. And then if tomorrow you say to me, we have a question, you're more than welcome to email me back and say, hey, Zev, we had another question, and I'm happy to get back to you on that. So that's no problem. And then in the contract, you're going to see, Connor, it says that if you don't show up to the meetings, then we'll fire you. If your grades drop below a 3.5, which is not going to happen, we'll fire you. And if in 3 months from now, you're not being genuinely recruited by a higher level school than you are talking to now, then we'll refund you.
Okay.
All right, everybody. It was a pleasure talking to you. I'll talk to you soon.
Pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
I've never seen a video quite like his. His was very, very good. Very, very good. Why is D2 not a good option for students with high academic scores? Division II schools just don't have as high academics as D3s. It's just how it tends to be. There are plenty of Division II schools with very good academics also. They have great business programs, but traditionally speaking, D3s have higher levels, traditionally, but it does vary per person. Can you go pro from NCCAA? You can. You have to go to tryouts and everything like that. Let's see here. Hey, coach, I would like your opinion. I have 2 coaches interested. Give me an offer. AJ, give me a call. Let's come. Go Valpo. Go Valpo. That's awesome. Yeah, thanks, guys, for listening. I don't think we have another call for a little bit. But no, we don't have another call for a little while. Okay. Yeah, we don't have another call for a little while, a long while. So yeah, that was really nice, guys. Thank you for all listening. If you want more help, let me know and we can schedule a call. Yeah, let me know and we can schedule a call if you guys want more help. Should I be concerned that I'm on ECNL, not ECNL? My club's ECNL team is insane. Emma, concerned isn't the right word, but you need a strategy. It just depends on your situation. I think you're a girl. So concern is not the right word. And if your ECNL team is so good, then we have to figure out which teams we should aim for. How to transfer to another school not playing freshman year. You're going to have to go to ID camps and send emails and use your high school video again. Does height matter for a goalkeeper? It does matter. You can still do things despite it, but it does matter. Do you think I can still commit as a senior? I was telling that student they could still commit. Division III and Division II schools are still committing plenty of kids. Division I is pretty difficult because especially with the new NCAA rule, they've kind of paused all of their stuff. All right, guys, it was a pleasure. I'll be going live again this afternoon, and I'll be going live tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm very, very, very busy. So that will be good. And yeah, if you guys have any more questions, I will talk to you. What grade is good? Start saying. Paula, it depends your level, Paula. If you're really good, start earlier. If you're not as good, maybe you have to start later. Okay, talk to you guys soon. Bye. Hey, just got back from soccer trial and I didn't make the team. Any suggestions? Work on my technical video, Duolingo. Go onto my YouTube page. It will help you. Are you reading chat? Just a little bit. I'll see you guys later, Twitch and YouTube and Instagram. I'll talk to you soon.